I am joined by the lovely Suzie Cheel. Suzie, you joined the My Million Dollar Experiment. When did you join that?
I think I joined at the end of not the first time, but when you first put it out, but maybe a month or so later.
Okay, so you were right at the beginning then. So right in the
Yeah, I was right
before
and I shared it with quite a few people from my community, I think, joined as well.
Fantastic. So were you on the opening call that we had? So the opening call way back in the 1st of January where we revealed the $1 million plan.
I was.
Was that a shift for you, or was that eye-opening to realize how close you were to $1 million?
Well, I suppose I'm at a point now where I actually, excuse me, where I actually say to people, I am a millionaire. Okay, I'm not there, but my business this year has turned over so far $370,000.
Amazing.
And I'm in a position now where my mentor and everything else with this sees that next year I will have $1 million. So I'm seeing this as being an amazing foundation. Joanna and I have known one another for quite a while. I really have shifted my money story this year. I've done it through using all of those wonderful sheets and things that you've used, which I've done a lot of that work before, but this reinforced for that.
And it landed maybe differently this time.
That's right. And yeah, and I've done some other things along the way that have also reinforced that as well. I've been doing some NLP and other things, reinforcing things that I've done before, but in different ways, which is what I believe your $1 million experiment has given us, a lot of us, an opportunity to do. And I mean, it's just been wonderful to see your growth.
Yes, it's been what a year. And I think what a year for you as well. I mean, that is absolutely phenomenal. And I just couldn't be happier, because we have, you know, you've been in my communities and things, but we haven't sort of had a chance to sit down and catch up like this in a while. So it's so beautiful to get this opportunity to hear of your growth and everything. What I love about you, Suzie, is that you are definitely what I would call one of life's lifelong learners. You're always learning something new. You're so keen for new knowledge, new information. I love it. I think, because I identify myself as one of lifelong learners and things. So how have you found our lab notes inside the community? Have they given you like little golden nuggets or food for thought?
I'm going to be honest, I haven't done all of them, but I have them pasted. I have them pasted in a book. I paste one in every week and I read it, and sometimes I take action on it. But for those of us who maybe haven't done all of this as we've gone through, because life takes us on different pathways, I've thought about, because I've stuck it all in a big A4 book, I've thought about going back on the 1st of January and actually working my way through that again. As I've sort of, one of the things I've done this year is expanded in a lot of ways, and working in an area that I chose to do that was going to free me maybe in a year or so to go back to my art. But a couple of months ago, I have this opportunity. I have a wall of love in an event centre here on the Gold Coast, where I'm selling my art from. So that's sort of like putting out who I want to be, while making a huge impact on lots of other people's lives to become financially free. And still, of course, using all my Heart Whisper cards most days and changing people's lives with that as well. But I just think this is a way to stretch us to think. I mean, you know, you think about being a millionaire, but I actually see myself. I see myself in a position next year where I'm speaking on a stage. I've impacted thousands of people's lives, and I'm living the life of my dreams.
That's amazing.
And
I love that.
I think it is. And as people say, why aren't I retired and do all of that? But I don't know. Des and I say we'll probably never retire.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love your passion that you bring in to anything that you do. And it's so beautiful. And it's been so lovely to have you in this container and know that it's impacted you and how it's shifted your mind as well in this extraordinary year that you've had. It's just so incredible. So if somebody is listening to this, and what has been one of your biggest takeaways from the My $1 Million experiment?
Belief that you can. I think when I wrote that down and I started adding up it was interesting for me. I started with my $1 and my $2, and I had them sitting here under my computer for a long while. And then I moved from being the artist, the spiritual person, and that I went into the area of wealth creation, and which has a network marketing basis, which I said I was never going to do again, ever. I just love it. I love, I've spent today onboarding people and changing people's money stories, and I just love that. And I'm wondering and that was how I was able to see that progression that you got to set with us from one. And I thought, I won't do this through my cards and my art or my readings, but just through that, because, because of how much I earn now a week and things, I could see that progression. And it was the other day, my mentor said, do you realize the impact you're having on people and how much your team has earned? And that just, when I added up, I thought 370,000, that is amazing. And I mean, I know you're at a million. And I was so excited when I listened to, one of the things I really liked is into your podcast, Into the Light Web, and you've inspired me to bring back the Abundance Show and turn it into a podcast next year.
Oh, I love that. That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, and I'll be inviting you to be on it.
At the time of this interview, in cash banked for our year, we're a hair's breadth away from 800,000 at the moment, at the time of this interview. And our sales are much larger than that, but I think we'll hit the 1 million in sales by the end of the year.
We've got 2 weeks to go, John.
I know, but
I'm going to be watching. I'll be watching for that, excited. I love it. I often wake up in the morning and you've usually been on while I'm asleep. But then
you're on the other side of the world from me. Yes. Yeah.
This is right. Yeah. It's this was good tonight because it was 10 o'clock and I thought I'll stay up for this because I still get up very early in the morning and walk on the beach.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I love that you have gotten out of this experiment, self-belief, because that was one of the seeds that I really prayed and hoped that I could plant for people with this $1 million experiment. When I realized that the dollar, the pound, the euro, whatever currency you were holding in your hand, that you were 20 steps away from being a millionaire with that, what for me, that was, I prayed that I hope that sparks belief in someone that they are much closer than they think, and it's much more doable than they have ever thought possible. And for you to be living your dreams out loud is just incredible. And I just, yeah, what a way to get more people to know about your art and everything, because it's all in one, isn't it? It's the wealth creation will lead into the art and so forth.
Well, I've had this thing of what's fascinating about what I'm doing now, because, I did all my law of attraction training and I did all that abundance work. And now, I talk about people. loving themselves into abundance. But it comes back to that, you know, the work so much work you've done, and your amazing book called Get Selfish. But if we don't have, and I'm noticing this with, I was doing quite a lot of readings for seven-figure earners and things. And what was the one thing that kept coming up?
Self-love.
Yep. So I have this thing now, and when people say, and I get them to, you know, love themselves and wake up in the morning and say, I love you, but feel it through your body. So important.
So powerful, so powerful. Because we're going to do our best work for someone that we love, right? And if that's someone that's us, of course we're going to do our best work for us. But when we're horrible to ourselves, and so many of us are, we're not going to do our best work. You know, you're not going to want to show up for someone.
You still have days where you beat up on yourself, Jo?
Absolutely. I think everybody does, but you know, those days are pretty much behind me now. That's not something that happens now in my world anymore. But for many years I would be on myself every day. That was my life. You know, that was my life. And of course I didn't want to show up for a person like that. I didn't really want to show up and be my best self. If everything that I did, I would hear my own voice say, well, that wasn't enough. I really do believe that self-love is like a multi-purpose key that unlocks a lot of doors in this life for us. Our abundance, our joy, our happiness can all be unlocked through the power of self-love.
Self-love and gratitude.
Oh, 100%. 100%. We just sing from the same hymn sheet, me and you, Suzie.
We do, don't we?
Absolutely. And I am so proud of being part of your journey and have walked with you this year. And I know that you're in some of my other containers, so I know that I will continue to see your beautiful face, and we'll continue to walk this journey. It's so epic. And we're going to put in the show notes where people can find you and everything. So thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
You are so welcome.